If you're seeing this now, the stream is over already. Appreciate you watching though. Oh, sharpening this is gonna suck. Okay. Probably gonna take over an hour. What do you mean, ew? Okay. So now we got to start sharpening this. Before we start sharpening this, and while we wait for the vitrified stone to soak, I'll be fixing a ZT300. Now I gotta go get the vitrified stone. Oh, what to do, what to do. Now that that's soaking, let's grab stuff. There's the socket right there, along with the 0300 here. I ordered a spring for this watch. for this knife. So we'll be replacing that today. Elijah, what's up? Jake, welcome back. There we go. Front scale off. Now all we really need to do, whoa. That's a lot worse than I remember it looking. Clean that off real quick. And then all we need to do is take the spring out of this bag and stick it in the knife. Yeah, I really don't remember it looking like that when I finished. Bob Rick, what's up? Welcome back. Yeah, I don't see any issues other than that. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put it back together. Grab the new spring. Compare them. Yeah, you can tell. One of them's on the inside, one of them's on the outside. They should be the same length. So that means this one's the new one. Yeah, that's more like it. Let's go ahead, line that up. Okay. Now that that's lined up, we're going to pack this side full of grease. Okay. Not cold. This is quite possibly the warmest winter we've had. Wipe up any excess grease. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think it's like 50, 60 degrees out there. It snowed like for 5 minutes last month. Oh, yeah. That's more like it. Got to sharpen this one too. It's a big knife. Tune it a little bit better. That's more like it. Okay. Now that we're done with tuning it, it still needs sharpened, but I'll have to do that after I finish the knife that I said I was going to sharpen today. Go ahead and put my Spyderco away. I hate it when there's another knife in that spot. Move the mat. So today we'll be sharpening a Manix 2 in S110V. Should be interesting. Okay. There we go. Nope. Still haven't bought one yet. Now this one is, I believe, relatively sharp already. The problem is it has a chip from when it was sent to me. So we're fixing that. What the hell is going on? First of all, that's sharpening very nicely. Second of all, oh, so it just naturally wiggles like that now? Damn, it didn't used to do that. John, what's up? Bushcraft rebooted, what's up? I personally hate the sound of sharpening. It's that nails on a chalkboard sound, and I hate it. Just because I'm good at what I do doesn't mean I have to enjoy the process, though. Yeah, it's 400 grit. The bottom edge, what do you mean? Like down here? I spray a mix of water, isopropyl alcohol, and mineral oil, and a little bit of Dawn dish soap. So that takes, on Spyderco specifically, it takes you setting the stone at a weird angle. You have to have it like almost perpendicular or whatever, like almost flat against you, about right there, so that you can set like this. And the reason why is they don't grind all the way to the ricasso. So, like right there, I missed. It happens. And yeah, if it takes a few sharpenings, that's fine. You don't need to do it. Let it happen over time, or else you're wasting multiple sharpenings on sharpening a spot that doesn't need to be sharp. It's not worth it. After this sharpening, this thing needs to be sent through. Yeah, good point. I could use the over here. I do rarely use those sections. You want a platform system? I don't know what you mean by that. What I used to want, Worksharp had a product called the bench stone that tilted just slightly, so you didn't have to raise your arm or anything. It just kind of went with the shape of the blade. I really wanted one of those, but now that I have the practice in, I don't need it anymore. I don't have any Worksharp products. It's not because they make a bad product, it's just because I've worked past the need for them. Oh, a fixed blade. Or fixed angle system. I forgot how well this thing sharpens. I don't use fixed angle systems. I have no opinion on them. I've never used one. And I have no clue what angle I'm holding it at. It just works. I'm holding it at the angle that it was sent with, roughly. Ooh. Hate it when that happens. I'm always scared that one of these times it's going to drop off the stone and then chip the tip off. Especially with a steel like S120 or S110. I can guesstimate that this is roughly 18 degrees. I can't guarantee that though. One side has a larger bevel than the other, but that's kind of how it was sent. What kind of stone or file can I use to sharpen pocket-sized knives? First of all, I wouldn't suggest using a file. You're just going to hurt your knife. And if it's already sharp and it just needs a touch-up, you could probably use a Smith's fine stone. It's like $6. Fit in your pocket. It's a 1x4, 1 inch by 4 inch stone. Oh, I'm sure I can measure the angle that I'm doing. I just don't. It's not what I'm worried about. Yep. Yeah, I found my Smith's fine stone for $7 at God, I only ever went there for that. I don't remember what. It's some department, not department. Fred Meyer. That's what it was. Appreciate it. Oh, the chip's almost gone too. I hate sharpening like that. The slow or the small movements. because I'm not getting the whole blade evenly. So when you have as much practice as I do, I don't really need to. I don't know. I'm just good. I'm not the best. I'm just good. Let go of the hole. I don't know how that happens. I lose a lot of subscribers for no reason. Oh, you haven't uploaded in 7 months. Yeah, but I still live stream regularly, kinda. I stopped with the regular live streams too. Especially with the back issue that I had recently. Sitting in this chair in the way that I was sitting, which was comfortable until I stood up, and then it was just pain. I think it's disgusting. When somebody subscribes to me, unless they choose to unsubscribe, they should stay subscribed. Well, I created a divot in the stone. Time to flip it around. Needs reflattened. That's what I get for focusing on small parts of the stone. See, that's what I thought. It unsubscribed me. Every once in a while, I watch my own videos, and it unsubscribed me from my own channel. How the hell did they pull that off? Am I done? No way, I'm done already. Nope, chip's still there. It's a lot better than it was, though. But it's to the point where I don't see it anymore. Ooh, shit, that's sharp. Okay. We're going to go ahead and continue. Yeah, those are some deep marks that I left behind right there. I did not mean to do that. Fuck. I use diamond plates for the most part. I very rarely use anything else. For exceptionally hard steel, I'll move up to this sometimes. And I'll move down to the 120. Okay, so if anybody else has a Manix 2 in here, please give me some insight on this because my lightweight doesn't have this issue. When you pull back on the cage, is there ever a section where you have to pull past, like nice and easy for a little bit and then click? This. Because my lightweight doesn't have that. It just drops. There's no clicky sound. But this one, it puts extra tension on the lock. So when you pull back, you have to pull harder than you do on mine. This one's pretty similar to a bug out, and this one's like a good 50% harder to close. And I'm curious if that's a common thing or not. Anyway, I'm just curious if anybody else has any experience with that. Wow, I just shredded this side. Okay. I did not mean to do that at all. Well, now it needs flattened again, so. Piece of shit. Well, I'm glad somebody else has the issue. This isn't my knife. I'm just sharpening it because I put it back together. And oh, chip's gone. It's about damn time it's gone. Beautiful. Now it's time to move up a plate. We'll move up from 400 grit to 1000 grit. Well, it's not my knife, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm just kind of feel bad about it. Retest. Better. I think I'm going to leave it at 1000 grit though. It is S110. It doesn't need to be mirror polished. I'll be honest, I did not think that I was going to like the Manix 2 lightweight because I hate the lightweight scales on every other knife and every other lightweight knife. And no, it's actually a solid knife. Comfortable. I was expecting it to shred my pants, and it didn't. So, thank you, Aiden, for that, by the way. Actually, one of my, I think it's in my top 20 favorite knives. That's more like it. So this thing needs to go in the washing machine now. Or thrown away, more like. Strop. Still using my old strop system. The hell am I getting a thing for? Oh, hey. I think somebody was watching me sharpen. Just sent a message on Facebook about my my ad for knife sharpening. Okay. Hell yeah. I don't work at a farm, but I'm going to argue that it's probably rope. Rope is not easy to cut. Yeah, so the reason I don't buy things with aluminum scales anymore is because um, it gets really cold here in Idaho, and aluminum just sucks the heat out of everything and then redistributes it everywhere else. Basically, it just distributes it into the air. So while you're holding it, you're just going to sit there and freeze your hand off. And I've done that. It sucks. That's why I go with titanium, because it doesn't, well, suck the heat out of everything. Yeah, ratchet straps will do it. Does it have food on it? No, it does not. Just, oh yeah. I've been doing some testing with this knife. Very impressed. So I think I'm going to reach out to the factory that makes these. They have another model that I can get for a little bit cheaper and see if I can get a few of those. Dude, don't have them try the brittle steels. Come on now. You're better than that. It is nice. The problem is, these are stainless scales. They're not titanium. It looks like titanium, but it's not. And I just ordered skiff bearings for it, so we'll see how that goes. No, it's not a blasted finish. It's actually titanium nitride. It looks blasted though, but being that it's a not a stainless steel, it's a high-speed drill bit steel. Um, if it wasn't coated, I don't think I'd be very happy with it. Now, let's get back to sharpening the CT. Now that we're finished with this one. But yeah, it's holding up pretty damn well to edge retention testing this week. I put it head to head up against 15V and Maximate, and it's so far coming close to beating 15V. I ran out of cardboard. Okay. I want a Sage 1. In some sort of fancy steel. I do like, or a Sage 2, I think. It's either a 2 or a 3 where it's a frame lock. See, I don't like the compression lock as much as I like frame locks. There's just something about frame locks that gets me going. I don't like 1095 in general because I think it's an excuse for companies to make cheap products. It's the same thing to me as spring assisted knives or give me a sec, this thing isn't doing what it should be doing. It's the same as spring assisted knives or knives on bearings, or I think it's just a cheap excuse for companies to get out of making good stuff. Now that's my opinion on it. Just an opinion. So take it as such. Never held a chaparral yet. So what I'm gonna do I hate doing this, but I need some sort of Loctite in here. See, I'm sure the Chaparral is a good knife. I just, when I'm spending money, I don't think of lockbacks very often. Beautiful. I think 67 is a wonderful heat treat for almost any steel. The problem is brittle when it gets that high. A lot of steels are brittle. I think that I brought this up before. The lowest heat treat you should get from any company is 62. Oh, but why 62? Well, I don't know of any steels where 62 is a bad heat treat. No, they make Chaparral now in Damasteel. A little bit surprised about that. I don't really like fixed blades. I've brought this up plenty of times. They don't fit on me. And I have yet to spend the money to get a pocket fixed blade. Mostly because I have other knives that I want more. Especially with that little bit of news that apparently Millet is coming out with the Overland in MagnaCut at 63.64. So we'll see how much that's going to cost. It was supposed to be out last month, but it's not on their website yet, so I don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm expecting somewhere in the 350 range. No, there's a couple pocket fixed blades I'd love to have. I just have other stuff that I want more. You don't get that satisfaction of opening and closing it. Eddie, what's up? Let's swap over to all messages. I didn't think it would change anything, but they put a micro bevel on this thing. Oh, sure. I'm sure they look great. The problem is I don't get to fidget with them because I don't do the whole flipping shit around my hands thing. I'm not going to take the risk of getting bit because when I sharpen a knife, it's the sharpest thing in the house. I'm not taking that risk. It's not worth it to me. It's the same thing with balisongs. I won't mess with them because I'm not going to have them dull. I'm not going to buy a trainer. I'm just not. It's going to be a sharp ass knife. I'm not going to hand it to anybody else either. Because they're going to go, oh, this is fun to play with. And then they're going to flip it wrong and it's going to bite them and it's going to go straight to the bone because they're an idiot. Everyone that I talk to knows that my knives are sharp. Oh, that's the other thing. I talked to some balisong guys not too long ago. Apparently, their heat treats are garbage too. So not only do you get like a hilariously dull knife, but the heat treat is garbage. We're talking low to mid 50s, if that. I don't think I've ever heard somebody talk good about a balisong as an EDC knife. Except DCA. I heard him talking good about the new M16 balisong from CRKT, but I think that thing's stupid. Could you imagine what Kit Carson would think if he knew that they did that? Well, they're heat treated so low because people drop them. When you're doing aerials and something goes wrong, you just let it fall. And when you let something sharp or something fall on the blade, oh, these are available again? Cool. Highly recommend it, by the way. Solid stone. I've been very impressed. It's actually a lot harder than the vitrified from Chiefr Cut. Takes a lot more abuse. I don't think I've been able to wear a divot into this one anywhere. The whole thing's just flat. After everything I've done to it, by the way. I thought for sure this thing was gonna have an issue. Oh, did you guys hear about the whole fiasco with the CRKT M16 Balisong? They took it down from their website. They screwed up telling everybody that it had titanium handles when it didn't. They're aluminum. They're offering refund. Yeah, the $300 one. They're offering refunds to anybody who bought it thinking it was titanium. That's just bad. The blade steel on what? On the one I'm sharpening or on the Balisong we're talking about? I don't think you can get your money back if you didn't buy it. I'd be pissed though. I would have noticed it pretty quick though, too. Aluminum feels and sounds different than titanium. It's S30V. Yeah, S30V. Well, sure. It's just, I was actually kind of excited and kind of wanted one until they took it down from the website and said what happened in the Facebook group. Exactly. Yep. And that's why I don't carry things with aluminum scales. They get too cold. Oh, quit being a little bitch. Yeah, no. It's freaking cold here. Not right now, but usually during winter, it's freaking cold. And then this winter, what is it? Oh, it's February 3rd. And I think it's above 50 degrees outside. Typically, right about now, it would be 20 or less. Usually less. Just sharpening a knife. No, S30V is a good steel. It's just expensive. And it's kind of outdated. I mean, it's 20 something years old now. I think it came out in 2000. Somebody can fact check me on that one. I'm not looking it up. If you weren't wearing gloves, you wouldn't have aluminum scales on it anymore. I figured that out with my Para 3 build that I did. Got some aluminum scales for that thing. They looked sick. And then wore them out one day when it was windy and raining. No. I said that day, I will never buy another knife with aluminum scales. Well, if you want to put a year into practice like I did, you can get as good as me. As long as you learn how to do it right the first time. Sharpening this one sucks because of the recurve, but it also sucks because it has a micro bevel. I don't know how magnesium feels in the winter. Actually, I do. It wasn't that bad. I don't think. One of my dad's buddies has a couple McLaren race cars, and the wheels are magnesium. It's like a whole wheel that's like 10 pounds. I just did that. I think it took like 20 minutes or less. Magnesium wheels are cool. I don't think I'd ever want them. I don't need that much weight savings. I'll be happy with my steel wheels. Well, the thing is, when people think of S110V, they think really hard. So really hard to sharpen. And it's not that bad. It could be worse. I mean, Maximate isn't that bad. Fucking hell. I hate to do this. I really do, but if I keep sharpening, it's not going to have much of the blade left by the time I'm done. I wanted to take the whole micro bevel off, but I am removing so much material. Oh. Mac, what's up? Just so you know, I do have it on all messages, so I think you're probably still having issues. What Demco did you buy? I'll admit, I kind of like the AD22. One of their new knives. Greg, what's up? How's it going? I've had a lot of people in here today. I've been pretty happy with the turnout. I didn't expect to have that many people on today's live stream. I think I topped out at like 50 something. But I stopped streaming because my back and this chair is not very supportive. D2 80 20.5. Interesting. I don't think I would have done that personally because I don't like D2 all that much. But I hope you like it. I'm sure it's going to be a good knife. Alright. Y'all are going to hate me for this. But I'm using this to do this properly. Y'all are going to hate that. But if I keep sharpening it the way that I have been, again, there's going to be nothing left. And then when I try and get rid of it, I got to say, yeah, I did six 6 sharpening sessions worth of sharpening to get rid of 1 micro bevel. I hate Nitro V. Nobody can get that shit done right. I do the kitchen knives in the house once in a while. It's... Come on, be sharp. Anybody curious, that was receipt paper. Yeah, I try my best not to buy clones. I really do. They're tempting. Believe me, they're tempting. I can't get rid of the micro bevel. I'm actually going to have to sharpen that out, which sucks so much. That means instead of turning around and selling this thing immediately, I have to finish. Fuck. I don't know. He doesn't have notifications turned on. What a shocker, right? My moderator doesn't have notifications turned on. I asked him the other day. He's like, oh, I didn't know that you were streaming. I'm like, how did you not know? Oh, I just didn't. Do you have notifications turned on? No. I know one of my moderators does. I don't know about the other one, though. Real quick, we're going to refinish my Sebenza one more time. Todd Carr, what's up? No, I completely agree with you, Bobrick. I already know that. But as an influencer, I'm trying to influence people not to do that. I prefer to support the real companies. And another way of looking at it, and I know you guys aren't going to look at it this way, but I hope you guys take the time to think about it like this for a second. What if they started making clones of my designs? You know, what are you guys going to do? I'm not going to tell you you're wrong either way, but I'm curious. No, Aiden doesn't show up very often. You know, if they start making clones of my shit, then what? No, the companies don't give a shit what I think. Although, I'm thinking about making my design cheaper than everybody else. Ugh. There. I didn't realize that I super glued it that good. Well, I'm pushing. I want my model to be as cheap as possible while still making profit, you know? So don't get me wrong, it's going to be expensive, but I want it to be less expensive than a Sebenza, so you get better bang for your buck. God damn, I put a lot of super glue on that. No, expensive isn't the problem. Value is the problem. And I understand that. Because people are saying that it's not worth it, you know? Dropping $500 or $600 on a knife. Yeah, exactly. Overpriced means it's undervalued. And I want to change that. It works great. I was looking into getting one for a while, and I just couldn't justify dropping $40 on it. But I got it as a Christmas present, and I haven't used my old tools all that much since I got it. I mean, what do you guys think about a Sebenza if it was $400? Would it be worth it then? I won't do affordable and expensive versions. I'm doing one version and that's it. Well, they used to be $240 back in '94. I know that because there's a production version on eBay with the original invoice. And back in 1994, it was $240 plus shipping for $8. Cody, what's up? You're late by an hour. And I just ordered some skiff bearings for a knife. I want to try them out for the first time. We'll see how that goes. Fashionably late, you're fired. Yeah. Just bam, the wrench is gone. Well, the other mod's typically asleep by the time I start my streams. So give him some credit, he tries. So I gotta end the stream here in about 5 minutes. No, I understand that. Not everybody wants to drop $400 on a knife. Yeah, when my sister becomes a moderator, you're all getting banned for saying she's a nerd. And I gotta unban everybody and then call her a nerd. Yeah, who am I kidding? She doesn't want to be a moderator. There were some scratches on this, so that's what I'm trying to fix. Because the last time I did it, I didn't do it perfectly flat. I kind of went at an angle on one pass. Yeah, you're definitely on her shit list. We definitely don't sound similar. I get that. So here's my problem with me going to China for having a design made. I don't want them stealing my design. And as mean as that sounds, it happens all the time. I mean, think about it this way: when CRKT makes stuff, and then all of a sudden one of their designs is up on one of the Chinese websites for less, think about it. Where do you think they're made? They're made in the same factory. I'm not willing to take the risk. It's not worth it to me. So, for as long as possible, I'm going to try and keep everything made here in Idaho. So that would include not just the knife, but just about everything that comes in the box with the knife. And I think I've decided that I am going to go ahead and go through with the pouch idea. Because the pouch idea, I think I can have pouches made here in Boise. There's one that makes them like 30 miles away from where I live. Believe me, I did some digging. I want good shit made, so I'm going to a reputable company. They seem up for the task. They were happy to talk to me. So they're the ones that made stuff for Koenig before Koenig split off and started doing their own thing. They have the background. They're known for quality stuff. Yeah, it's a icon. It's $40. I am not re-greasing this side. This side I will redo though. I don't want royalties. I want my own brand. And I don't think they're going to do it right. Key case in point is I'm not sure if I want MagnaCut or not. I'm starting to think I'm going to go with Magnamax if it's out by the time I start doing shit. I mean, I'm glad somebody can afford those sets. I sure as hell can't. Oh, I gotta dip this shit in acetone. Yeah, Aristeel in, I don't remember, France is making MagnaCut now. And apparently they're making it better than Crucible was. No, they are gone. Crucible's gone. Not just bankrupt, they are gone. Everything's been sold already. The company's gone. Nope. If they sold out, the company would still be around. No. Yes. Aristeel bought everything. And I'm not even sure if it covered all the debt. I don't want stuff made in China. I want it made here. I want to be able to drive 20 or 30 minutes and check in on production. And no, that's not too much to ask for. Anyway, once I get this thing put together again, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I think Snex lives in China. Either that or Japan, one of the two. There we go. And it's finished a little bit better too, so. Nope, I think I'm going to stick with Magnamax. So we get that S35VN toughness with way higher edge retention. And then try, if I can, to sell them for $400. Crucible had too much debt. It was Chapter 11. They were unable to pay back debt and went bankrupt because of it. I will try and run my business with the least amount of debt possible, because I don't want to risk bankruptcy. Bankruptcy isn't worth doing whatever to make something slightly better or slightly cheaper. I know it's the pinnacle for now, but I think every tungsten carbide knife I've seen is too thin. And it would probably be at 61, 62 HRC. God, I hate having to break these things in. Well, let's keep Cheeto Man out of this. I am my own person. I will do what I want to do. Sure, but I don't want... I want something thicker. And I don't know of anybody who does tungsten carbide thicker. Okay, broke it in, finally. Now, I may have a model that I'm going to be selling, if you guys are interested. It's not my design or anything, but found a place where I can get it relatively cheap, and it seems like it's a good knife. has a solid steel with a solid heat treat. It isn't this exact model, but it's made with the same materials, so just know that I know what I'm doing. And if I went with tungsten carbide, I can't go with the company that I want to go with. I mean, if you could do vapor deposition instead of powder metallurgy, it'd be interesting, but I don't know how well that would work. Take too much time. Anyway, I gotta end the stream here. So it was nice talking to you guys. I'll be getting some skiff bearings for this. You mean make it in a cave with a box of scraps? Well, I don't have any scrap titanium, so not gonna happen. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night, morning, day, whatever it is. And we'll see you in the next one.